Hi everybody, welcome to Noise Pollution. We are on YouTube and Rumble. Today we have some kind of controversial things to talk about um, involving transgender children.
Well, I'm not exactly pro trans. I mean, if you feel that way, be what you want to be, good for you. I don't care. As long as you're not forcing people to call you by a gender that you're not naturally. As long as you're not trying to force what you feel and believe onto others.
Isn't that the same thing as being a fascist?
Yeah, it's thought police. But in this is this is about the state trying to put it into law that they can take trans kids from parents. I don't believe the state should have such a power as that. And on the flip side, I don't think the state should have the power to decide to transition a child.
I think that's a form of child abuse because a child doesn't know. I mean,
Yeah, if you're 18 or whatever the legal age is in your state, and you want to transition yourself, good for you. Go for it. But before that age, no. I mean, they are a child. There's a reason why children are called children, and there's a legal age set for things.
well, in certain states, they are heavily wanting to make laws where they can take away people's children because the parents may not agree
Yeah.
with them being transgendered at that age.
In Wyoming, House Bill 156 would define gender affirming care to be not in the best interest of youth in the state. Okay, I can understand if your view is you see it as a mental illness. I could agree with that to an extent, but my mind's not set on it. I believe it could be the long term effects of, I don't know, plastics or stronger chemicals or vaccines. I don't know, and I'm not going to make any such claims. But whatever the case, it is not natural. It's not natural in the animal kingdom or in humans unless by some far long shot that it is a genetic kill switch saying there are too many humans on Earth. We need to we need to do something about it.
Yeah, like culling the herd, that's the same
I
thing.
mean, evolution, if you will, junk DNA activating. But I'm not gonna float any conspiracy theories. It's just food for thought.
Yeah. Saying that they cannot give them puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and surgery. Which, I mean, come on, they're children. They're gonna change their mind.
Well, yeah, if you're giving your underage child surgery or shots, they are children. Yes, I fully believe. I mean, even if you're a full on trans supporter, children are children,
Yeah.
and not the state nor the parents should be doing this to them or allowing them to do it to themselves.
Well, I think, and God help me, but I think the woke movement has went way too far where they're now children are going to behave how they see others behave. Well, if you get a bunch of people saying, oh, well, you don't really want to be a boy, do you? You really want to be a girl? You can be a girl. You can change
Um,
into a girl. But
I'm
they're
not.
not telling them that they can't go back.
I'm not gonna make a video on every little thing I see every day, but I do run in at least once a day an article about how they're asking them in school, or the certain agencies, or in some cases even the state, are encouraging to ask your child, do you want to be a girl or a boy?
A little kid's not gonna
Okay,
know.
I grew up in a time where none of this was an issue, and yeah, people would be like, I don't feel so much like a boy, or I don't feel so much like a girl. And you were free to live how you want it without trying to fool the world into thinking you were the other gender, or forcing the world to believe you were the other gender. You could be a more of a manly female or a more feminine male. And there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, you might get teased, you might get picked on, but that's nature for you.
Well, as a female, I never really felt one way or the other. I mean, never.
But I never felt like a macho man. I never went, woohoo, I'm all male and I love the hell out of it. That's silly.
Well, the thing is for me, it's like, how do you feel as a female? Or how do you, I don't, because to me, I never
Well,
really
look,
thought on it.
for all these young people and all these, well, there's not some not young as at that, but they're all the time going, let's blur the lines between genders. Let's not call genders. Let's not put the focus there. Well, that's exactly what they're doing, because when I grew up, I never put a big focus on what gender am I, and is that going to affect how I have to act, and so on.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
most people I knew didn't either.
yeah.
Some boys were more feminine, and it was, so be it. That's who and how they are.
Yeah.
Nobody was going, oh, we have to block your puberty now.
I think that is child abuse. I think if you give a child puberty blockers, that's child abuse. I cannot help it. That's gonna hurt them. They can't develop like they're supposed to. You know?
Okay, here's what I'm wondering. This wasn't already law? I mean, okay, I'm not saying to take their kids away. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for anyone to have their kids taken away.
No, not unless they absolutely deserve it.
Transition or no transition. But were they really shooting kids up to block their puberty and giving them estrogen and all this, and or testosterone, whatever the case may be?
Evidently so, or they wouldn't have made the law.
Well, I don't know. This law is specifically about taking the child, isn't it? Or is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, not allowing children to get this done to them.
Yeah.
This wasn't already law.
I don't think so. Because, I mean, think
That
about it.
that is absolutely bonkers.
Well, think about it. I mean, they, a few years ago, this kind of thing wasn't an issue. You know?
I'm gonna move on to the next article, which is a
Okay.
very similar article. It's along the same vein. Alabama can enforce ban on puberty blockers and hormones for transgender children, court says. Well, I don't see anything, absolutely anything wrong with that.
I don't either. Because the people that do this kind of shit to their kids, I mean, come on.
If there was a real reason, not psychological, that they needed this done, uh, I'd be like, okay, I get it. Kind of like when someone has to get rid of a unborn child, or it's gonna kill them.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, like if a baby needed that kind of surgery to be one or the other. That's different. But evidently in Alabama, some parents are shooting their kids up with hormones and all that.
Here it says fully reversible. I don't buy that for a moment. I do not buy that.
Puberty blockers are not reversible. Once that damage is done, it is done.
Yeah, it becomes a permanent part. Okay, your shoulders widen. You know, your bone density changes. Nothing is gonna reverse on that.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Or the opposite way, you lose that bone density and okay, well, people who shoot steroids oftentimes have to keep shooting them, or simple cases, people low on testosterone and males that need it. Once they start taking it, they have to keep taking it because their bodies quit producing it.
Yeah. And it puts a strain on their heart.
Yeah,
Testosterone.
it can when it's applied and not made by the body. Yeah.
Yeah. But evidently people in Alabama
Okay, but what doctors out there are saying fully reversible?
I don't believe it.
Again, that is bonkers.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I wanna get a hold of one of those doctors and be like, don't worry, this is fully reversible.
Oh Lord.
I want to see how quick they change their tunes.
Well, yeah, I mean, until the doctors have to deal with the same things that the people have to deal with that they're giving this mess to.
There's been women to transition to men, and they began having male pattern baldness. I don't care how much they transition back to a woman, their hair is not going to grow back there.
No, it's not going to grow back.
To be fair, I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. If that were the case, they would have found a method for men to grow their hair back by now.
If that were the case, all the balding men in the world would be transitioning to women and back.
They'd be walking around with tits and be like, at least I got hair. Imagine that.
They'd be transitioning to women and then back so they could have hair.
In this day and age, a man walking around with a full head of hair and tits, you still wouldn't know what they were.
This is very true. I can't tell you how many times I've had to question if it was a male or a female.
But a lot of people are actually, taking this as child abuse, not letting them transition. They're children. You can't just give them everything they want. You can't do that. That is not how you raise a child.
No.
You're the adult. Be the adult.
Yeah, well, it's like this. When you
teach your children. Look, in, I don't know, let's say 20 years, there's going to be a lot of damaged adults going, I'm never doing that to my child. I don't know why they let me do it. There's going to be a lot of them going around.
Well, there's a saying that says this. When you have little children or children underage, you cannot be their friend. No, you are responsible for their decisions and you have to help them make the right choices.
Yeah, connect with your child, play as their counselor if need be their friend when it's necessary, but be the adult, be the parent. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
They're children. They're not adults yet. They don't know. Children have all kinds of feelings. They'll have feelings that they'll never have again when they're an adult because their feelings are in flux.
Yeah.
because their hormones are in flux.
Well, that's how they learn about the world. I mean, that's just nature. But this is going against everything that nature has implemented since the beginning of time.
Nature will ultimately decide if they feel more male or female, but I would go as far as to argue that many of them, even if, like, say you had a man that felt more feminine, got grown, he would still regret the hell out of the changes he made to himself.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Of course, it's not universal. Of course not. But I believe a good many would, or possibly a majority.
Yeah,
But they're not going to know until they get there. And if
true.
they do this when they're children, they're never going to get to that point, and there's no way they can know the difference.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, it's kind of a paradox there. You can never know the difference either way, but one seems more uh, a definite cutoff than the other.
More permanent.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next article? Or
Well,
is,
I'm reading over this line.
oh. Four families with transgender children ranging in ages 12 to 17 challenged the Alabama law as an unconstitutional violation of equal protection and free speech rights.
Okay, so four families out of thousands, millions, whatever the case may be, four families is like, we will not have this. What the hell is going on in their heads?
I do not know, but I wish I did.
Okay, on to the next, the flip side.
Mon
This Montana parents, they lost custody of their daughter, and if you dig into the article, it says essentially because they would not let the child transition. I
but she's 14.
I fully well believe in that parents should be able to raise their child as they see fit without the state or government stepping in, or social justice warriors. With that being said, I don't think a child can consent to anything sex or gender.
Nope.
They can't if they can't consent to drinking, driving, sexual acts, then why do they think they can consent to this? And they can't consent to tattoos, a tattoo can even be removed.
Yeah.
Why is this okay?
I mean, they can't smoke or drink or get a tattoo or anything else. Why in the world are they wanting
But
them to do that?
this story, it goes way beyond this article, and from what I've seen on it, they actually take the child away and send her to a facility to have her transitioned.
Oh my God. Oh,
Okay,
that's just horrible.
I say her, but I'm not entirely clear on what this child started out as.
I think she started out as a girl. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but that's beside the point.
Oh, this is awful.
Now, I'm sure there were other factors here. There were other factors. They were in a child custody dispute, and I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody was trying to paint everybody as absolute monsters. But the state should have no say in saying that that's part of it, that you wouldn't let your child transition, and then taking the child and sending them to a facility to have them transition. How is it that pray away the gay is bad, but this isn't? Okay, I say they're both bad. They're both bad.
I do too.
But when you can say that's bad, but this isn't, what the hell is wrong with you?
It's just another form of fascism, I think.
Oh, it's a mutated strain of fascism.
Yeah, it's
I mean, Hitler himself would have been face palming, going, "Oh my God!"
yeah, yeah. I just don't understand why people the they had their baby taken away
And
from
no,
them.
I'm not promoting Hitler.
No.
He was a evil son of a bitch.
Yeah.
There's no argument there.
I mean, they had their baby taken away from them and mutilated. That's what this is. It's basically a mutilation.
Yeah, by the state.
Yeah, the state did it.
So if you feel like a woman, if you want to take on a woman's name, go for it. If you want to dress like a woman, go for it. Just don't allow this on children, and don't expect me to call you a woman if you're not a natural born female, or vice versa.
Well, I know,
Now, I'm not hating on trans or gays.
no.
I mean, like I've stated before, you're gay.
Yeah.
I've no problem. I have a problem when they call you transphobic if you're not attracted to them. That is insane.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
and when they go, I am she her blah 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 blah. You're a cisgender blah 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 blah. And it's like, oh come on, we're all humans. We're all trapped in this hell together. Don't add to it. Don't pile on. Can't we just have a little peace between one another?
yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I was online talking, and this was a few years ago when the when Bernie Sanders was running and all that, and in the chat room, and somebody said, "You didn't address me by my pronouns." It's like, how am I supposed to know your pronouns?
Why am I supposed to care?
And I don't care anyway. I mean, it doesn't
It's like,
matter.
you have a name, right?
That's like, how in the world are you supposed to describe? Oh my goodness, I could go on
Well,
forever.
look, yeah, it's so convoluted, it's silly, and it's just making an argument out of thin air for the sake of the divisiveness.
Yeah,
It's, you know, what is it that was said? Cannot stand divided.
a house that is divided cannot stand.
Yeah, was it Lincoln that said that?
I don't remember.
Whatever the case, if ever that rings true, it is now, and the people are just eating it up. Everything is so divisive. There's no common ground. I try to find common ground. I honestly do, but they do not make it easy.
No, they don't.
I get hate heaped on me for just existing.
Yeah, because they think you're a straight white male.
Well, I am straight. I am a natural born male,
Yeah.
and I am partially white and other races as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for us tonight, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, hit the like and subscribe button. We are on YouTube and Rumble. Have a good night.
Still straight.
I'm not.